After years of pressure, the WB is finally giving fans what they want: Superman back on the big screen. Though in a supporting role in an animated film, because this movie is about Superman's dog. So let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Sean, and I love to talk about movies and TV way too much. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comment section. Let me know, what's your excitement level for the DC League of Super Pets, and if you've seen it, what did you think about it? With that said, let's get started. And I'll just cut right to the chase. While this movie isn't breaking any new ground, it's a harmless piece of family entertainment that can be cute and funny. I go into a film like this, and I evaluate it as a father. I have 3 children, 10 and under. That is the lens under which I evaluate this film. It was not designed for me as just a 40-year-old man to watch on my own, despite the fact that I love the DC heroes. It's designed for families and children, and that's the lens under which I watched it. My daughter in particular loves pretty much any talking animal movie, so the idea of combining talking animal movie with the world of DC seems like the perfect formula for my household to thoroughly enjoy this film. And I didn't watch it with my kids. I did watch it at a press screening with one of my friends, and we both had fun with it. Like I said, this isn't going to be one of the great animated films of all time, but it is an enjoyable film to watch if you're watching it in the right mindset. If you're like a 25-year-old that saw the trailer and went, "Really, this movie?" It's not going to win you over. It is what the trailer sells it as, but it's a fun version of that. So the movie is about Krypto, Superman's dog that came with him from Krypton and has been Superman's best friend his entire life. But as Clark Kent, Superman, is getting older, he has fallen in love with a girl, and some of his time is pulled away from his best friend and towards the love of his life, and this is causing some friction with the dog. Pretty standard premise for a dog movie. This is territory that it's been explored many times before, but it is a little bit fresh and new because it is through the perspective of a superhero story, in particular Superman. So it has some extra layers to it that makes it interesting while being pretty standard stuff for a talking dog movie. And then through the journey, Krypto makes friends with some other animals, and he has to learn kind of how to make friends along the way. And it manages to have a pretty good heart and message with where it kind of goes with some of this stuff. In particular, the animal, the dog, played by Kevin Hart, they give the dog a backstory eventually, and it hits a lot heavier than I was expecting. When they kind of show kind of what goes down with him, I was like, whoa, that's not where I was expecting that to go. And then it kind of has some profound stuff to kind of say in there while still being in a dog movie about dogs that get superpowers and a turtle that gains superpowers. And so while being fairly standard, it's very effective at what it's trying to do. Other fun thing in here is that you get the classic team up of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with Kevin Hart. They just have really good chemistry, whether they're in a jungle, whether they're in an action spy movie, or whether they're talking dogs who are superheroes. They're fun when they interact with one another. And so you have a lot of really fun voice casting in here. You also have Keanu Reeves as Batman, which is... it's fun because it's poking fun at Batman while being, like, loving Batman at the same time. So there's a lot of things like that are fun to watch. You got John Krasinski as Superman. So all around, a lot of really fun voice casting in here. A lot of times with animated films, I'm not the biggest fan of stunt casting because it's like what was really gained by casting these big name actors in these voice roles. And I think in something like this, it plays a little bit different because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Kevin Hart just have really good chemistry. They're funny when they play off of each other. Even when you're not seeing their height difference in real life, they just go really well together. And then likewise, when you're stunt casting for Batman and Superman, I think that plays it a little bit differently when you hear those voices and those characters that you know really well. So I think that plays differently than normally my criticisms of animation stunt casting with big actors in these roles. Other fun things about it, there's just a lot of nods to DC characters, obviously. mainstream DC films, the music cues, a lot of the stuff they put in there. It's just a lot of fun, and especially someone that grew up watching Superman 78, Batman 89. That's kind of the version of these characters having fun with. So it's just a lot of stuff that put a big, gigantic grin on my face. And that's what this movie is. It's cute enough, it's charming enough, it's funny enough. The voice talent is enjoyable enough to watch while not doing anything particularly groundbreaking on any particular front that it's trying to do anything. The plot itself, fairly straightforward, pretty familiar. You know, even the kind of the teaming up of Krypto with these other animals. It's the classic stuff. It's its own version of Toy Story, in a sense of the one person that's kind of clueless about things, grouped up with another group of people. It's standard stuff for animated films, standard stuff for dog movie, standard villain plot for superhero movie, but it is fun to see all of them mashed together at the same time into this talking dog superhero story with DC characters. And I'll say this, for the most part, it's pretty family friendly in the kind of the way that it handles all of this. There are a few moments where it gets a little bit edgy and a little bit heavy with the way that it handles some stuff. There's like a joke about Krypto getting hit by a dog at one point in time, in which case, if you've had a dog been hit by a car, it's probably not the most pleasant or funniest of jokes to put in a film like this. So there's a few things like that that are hit a bit harder than you'd expect. Even some details about Superman and Lois's relationship kind of touches on some stuff. So you might want to look up some of the content in this if you're wondering about taking some of your younger kids to check it out. Real quick, before I give you my final thoughts on it, be sure to join me down below in the comment section. Let me know, are you excited about the DC League of Super Pets, or is this something that you have absolutely no interest in? Also, I have done a ranking of the DC direct-to-video animated films from the last decade that are designed for adults. If you want to check that out, that's right up here if you're into DC animated films that aren't about talking dogs. Overall, I had a pretty good time with this movie. I expect my kids to have a great time with this movie, and if this is one they decide they want to watch on loop, I would be okay with that. It's much better than a lot of the other things that they choose to watch on loop. It's not breaking any new ground. It sticks to multiple formulas quite well, but it plays the formula effectively. It makes you laugh. It's got a little bit of heart. It does its job good enough. Overall, I'll give this one a B on the entertainment scale, a 7 out of 10, and it's worth checking out if you like the trailers, if you're in the mood for a family DC film. But if you saw the trailer and you rolled your eyes, it's probably not going to win you over. Remember, I have done that ranking of the DC animated movies from this last decade. You can check it out right over there. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies too much. Bye-bye.